President Donald Trump has commuted the federal life sentence of Larry Hoover. Greetings in the name of the Most High, Emperor Haile Selassie I the First. Ladies and gentlemen, you know it's your favorite Rastaman on the internet. If you have not subscribed yet, hit that red subscribe button. Ladies and gentlemen, as President Donald Trump has commuted the federal life sentence of former Gangster Disciple boss Larry Hoover. The president has commuted the sentence. The infamous Gangster Disciple founder Larry Hoover has abruptly ended Hoover's years-long quest of winning early release under the First Step Act passed by Donald Trump under his first term. The two-page order said that Hoover's sentence was considered served with no further fine, restrictions, restitution, probation, or other conditions, and direct the U.S. Bureau of Prison to release him immediately, according to a copy of documents provided by Hoover's legal team. The controversial move, part of a slew of commute and pardon announced by the White House this week, appeared to have already sparked Hoover's transfer out of Supermax prison compound in Florence, Colorado, that he'd called home for the past 2 decades. Either way, Hoover isn't going free. He's still serving a 200-year sentence for his state court conviction for murder. Officials with the Illinois Department of Correction have previously said that they would push for Hoover to finish his state sentence in a federal prison due to security concern. On Wednesday afternoon, Hoover was listed in the state prison record as an inmate at Dixon Correction Center in West Illinois, though it was unclear if he'd already made it there. The records show a parole date of 2062. In a statement to the Tribune, Hoover's attorney Jennifer Bonjean called Trump's decision a historic development after years of fighting in federal court. The court have demonstrated a complete unwillingness to consider Mr. Hoover's rehabilitation, Bonjean wrote. Sometimes the court do not do the right thing, but thanks to the work of so many advocates and supporters keeping Mr. Hoover's voice alive and ultimately the president taking action to deliver justice, we are thrilled to see Mr. Hoover released. Now it's time for the IDOC to do the right thing. An IDOC spokesperson could not be immediately reached by phone Wednesday afternoon. However, Hoover's sister, Deanne Cooper, said, "I'm happy. Trump did a very good thing. They can say what they want." Cooper 70 said, "I'm behind him 100%. He need to be home. Right is right and wrong is wrong." Cooper said she didn't know anything about the state sentence that might keep her brother behind bars. Representative of Georgia, J.B. Pritzker, office did not immediately respond to the request for comments. Meanwhile, Hoover's son, Larry Hoover Jr., posted a photo on his Instagram account Wednesday afternoon of someone holding up a Trump sign order with the words "almost home" and 2 prayer hands emoji. Federal prosecution have vehemently opposed the break of Hoover, who is now 74, arguing he did untold damage to the community across Chicago during his reign on the street. They argued he had continued to hold sway over the gang hierarchy while in prison, even promoting and underlining his secret communication with gangs through codes and messages in a hidden dictionary. Hoover's attorney, meanwhile, have claimed that decades behind bars have changed Hoover. Prosecutors have unfairly painted him as a puppet master trying to keep him locked up. At a hearing last year, U.S. District Judge John Robert Blakely asked Hoover's defense attorney point blank. How many other murder is he responsible for? I didn't know what methodology is for determining that. Attorney Jennifer Bonjean replied, somewhat taken aback by the unusual blunt query. So many, we can't count, Blakely shout back. After Bonjean said she couldn't put a number on it, Blakely went a step further and asked if Hoover himself would like to weigh in. He probably has the most knowledge of all, the judge said. At the hearing, which Hoover attended via a live link from prison, he told the judge he had changed and a chance to reflect on my life and the trouble that I have caused during my existence during the community. Here in the Supermax, you're locked up for 21 hours a day. You go away to your cell and reflect every day on the aspect of your life, and you see things differently, Hoover said. You see things you're proud of, and you see things that maybe you're not so proud of, and you realize that life is too short. If he were released, Hoover said, he would console and counsel others who have joined gang and teach them how not to join them. I just want to say that I would be a credible risk if you were to allow me to go back to the world, Hoover said. Blakely had not yet ruled on the motion. Hoover, who already is serving a 200-year state sentence for murder of rival when he was indicted in federal court in 1995 on charges, he continued to oversee the murderous drug gang reign of terror from prison. He was convicted on 40 criminal counts in 1997, and the judge sentenced him to a mandatory term of life. I don't always agree with the guideline, the judge told Hoover during his hearing. Sometimes I think they are too draconian, but in this case, I have to agree with them 100%. So although Donald J. Trump has commuted Larry Hoover's federal sentence, he's still obligated to a 200-year state sentence. So hopefully, J.B. Pritzker and officials, the authorities there in the state of Illinois will look at Larry Hoover and grant him the same, forgiveness that President Trump has granted Larry Hoover. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Rastafari Soldier here of Deep Roots TV, reporting live. Donald J. Trump, the President of the United States, has commuted the federal life sentence of well-known, founder of reputable gang on the street of Chicago and many places in, United States. And he is hoping that the state would have that same, forgiveness. So the founder of the Gangster Disciple, Larry Hoover, has now been, have his sentence commuted by Donald Trump from federal life prison. He now have to try to get through the state 200-year sentence. Good luck, Larry. More life and more joy and more happiness. Take care.
Yeah, this is Everton Blend. I mentioned out the Deep Roots TV. Ever done that? Up. Lift up your head and go lead to. We know that we